What's going on, everybody? Doc Average Gamer guys, back yet again, MTG Arena action. Picking up where we left off with a really fun black-red, essentially card disadvantage, card removal via discard deck, really leaning on the back of Tinybones. We also have a sub-theme here of Sacrifice as well, Vampire Gourmand, Perforating Artist, 9 Lives Familiar, couple of other things, really rounding out the top end here with High Society Hunter, Painful Quandary, and a Dracuseth to really finish things off if we get to that point. We've been able to do a little bit of everything except for take advantage of our sacrifice package. We even have the Ravenous Amulet, and again, that paired up with a 9 Lives Familiar can make for some pretty interesting play patterns, potentially. So really looking forward to seeing if we can get that going. The deck's been a ton of fun. Seems pretty solid. A little light on the removal, but we're relying on getting cards out of the hand with Burglar Rat and Pilferer to make some tough decisions to help us gain some of that tempo and advantage. So let's jump in. We are currently sitting at 3-1. If you missed the draft and the first couple of games, be sure to go check out the previous video. That should be under our MTG Arena playlist, and that'll get you caught up. Really good run. Our first game of that last video was one of the most insane draft decks I've ever seen. So you need to go check that out. That's where our loss came from. But then after that, we were able to rattle off a couple of wins here. So apologize for the voice, still on the mend here, but hopefully we're getting through that here pretty quickly. And with that, let's see if we can grab a couple of wins and finish this out with a trophy. To the games we go. Okay. Painful Quandary has been very interesting. Very interesting. I actually think we stab this thing. I'm just going to rip cards from hands here. Because if we do this in a way and are able to then play Painful Quandary on turn 5, we'll essentially make it that our opponent can't play anything. Ooh, discard 2 cards here. Probably Billowing Shriek Mass, right? Because we can play the Gutless Plunderer here. Another Bacon to Pie. Wow. Would they have 3 of these? That's crazy. Yeah, this is fine. They've drawn back-to-back removal spells. Is insane. I have to discard a card. Might be a terrible play here, but Yeah, I'm gonna be dead. That was a very interesting game. Them ripping 3 removal spells in a row was pretty interesting. If one of our creatures is able to stick there, I actually think we're in okay shape. We can block the Infernal Vessel. We get the opportunity to basically just do that. Maybe Gutless Plunderer wasn't the right play here. Billowing Shriek Mask probably would have been a better option to end up keeping. I guess I was thinking about our mana considerations. So this probably should have been the play. I think that's really where we made the oof. Because they Secret Folly into, and then we pulled this. No, they got a bacon to pie and then the stab, so I guess it would not have mattered. No, we played Stormkirk. They stabbed this. Ooh, I don't know, actually. I should have kept the Shriek Mass. I should have kept the Shriek Mass, because the other thing that this would have been is this would have been a 4/4, because we almost would have been guaranteed to have Threshold at that point. So that's kind of interesting. It was an interesting match. Not necessarily the way we wanted that to go. I probably should have also gotten rid of the Painful Quandary. The hope there is that I can then draw into a couple of creatures. We can block down the 1/1. You know, we get some options. Even if it's a Burglar Rat, we're able to do that. The 2/1 isn't a clock that we had to be too concerned about. So keeping that on the battlefield, not letting that turn into its demon form would have been fine. In addition, some removal would have been okay for us. And then we're at 5 mana, which essentially lets us play all of our top-end threats. So we see Dragon Tamer there, or even the Gore Clan, you know, Rage, or something with better power and toughness, you know, kind of pulls us out of that situation. So I think we'll try this. Going to Evolving Wilds here quickly for a swamp. Secures our lands, which is nice. Archer, okay. See if we can't get a 9 lives or something here. Counterspell? No, they can't refute this. They're gonna braid this, Bolt Wave, or whatever. Fiery Annihilation. Okay. Not great for me, but they try to kill this, I can at least Ravenous Amulet this. They're stuck on lands. Find their land here. Question is, do I attack? I think I do. What would be the better sequence here? I can make a 4/4 red dragon. I attack, they block. With Firebrand Archer, I'm able to fake its own death, which then brings it back onto the battlefield. see what they do here. They may just take this as well. So now I can Gorehorn Raider and ping the Firebrand Archer. This actually seems like the best play at this point. Getting that off the battlefield. Then force them to either lose the life or discard a card. They had their own Perforating Artist. They're looking for a color. Double Firebrand? That feels tough. That feels really bad. They didn't. Wow. They must not have found the other lands that they need. So they were looking for. They were 3-color. They were looking for. I don't know. Were they really truly 3-color? This might have just been a splash. Not finding a 4th land, though, after Double Thrill is really tough. And the fact that they had used both Firebrands there. Or Fanaticals. And I'm sorry, Fanaticals to do that. They were going to be able to Firebrand me for quite a bit of damage there still. So I think that was a good target. I think that was the most beneficial play to be able to get really their board cleared, because the Fanaticals here really don't represent a ton of issues, right? We had some good follow-up plays from this. We could have attacked with both again, had a Fake Your Own Death on standby. We would have done that. That would have then given us a treasure token. We could have played Billowing off of that if we wanted to do that. If they end up taking the damage for whatever reason, you know, this next turn, they're in a really tough spot because we're hitting Dragon Trainer. We're going to get the 4/4 flyer. That's just probably too much power for them to deal with anyways. But even if it wasn't, and they didn't have an instant removal spell, they're not targeting the 1/1 Dragon Trainer. So we're going to be able to attack with this, get in some damage. Or I would have been able to live the dream here by playing the Dragon Trainer the next turn, then hitting it with Fake Your Own Death, and then sacrificing it to draw a card, to then have it come back, get a treasure token. So basically be a net neutral or almost net neutral play, at least in terms of activating it, because we would have got the treasure token and then creating another 4/4 dragon. Okay. No red mana, which makes me a little sad, but I think we'll try this. Kind of hoping we can rip a Tinybones right here. Now we have the amulet, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Got a whole lot of white cards. Ooh. I can't play. I mean, I'm not my chance of actually playing this is so low. Quick Draw Katana, very nice. Question is, who's gonna find their source first? We did. The question is, what do I do here? I think I just abrade this. That's tough. Man, that's tough. Hey, I found the white source. They had a chance, a little bit. It took us a minute to get there. Sequencing for me might not have been exactly perfect. You know, thinking about it, it might make more sense to High Society Hunter. In that instance, instead of hitting the abrade on the vampire, although that ended up being a good play in the long run, we would have taken a little bit more damage. But I think getting High Society Hunter out quickly, maybe the turn before, would have been the smart play, because then that lets us sacrifice the our Stormkirk a little bit faster, get the advantage for the card draw there. So could have been decent. I think also maybe not sacrificing this. No, that was my bigger mistake. Excuse me, that was my bigger mistake. Instead of sacrificing it to the High Society Hunter, I should have attacked, done the 7 damage, and then paid the 1 to sacrifice it separately, because this is whenever another non-token creature dies, we draw a card. This draws us a card. We would have been able to draw 2 cards off of that activation instead of the 1 with this out. We don't really care too much about the additional point of damage. Plus, having Stormkirk on the battlefield and attacking essentially represents that damage anyways for the next 2 turns. So that is absolutely what I should have done. Post-combat, sack that, gotten both cards, we accelerate even faster. That was definitely the way to go about it. No, I want to play this so bad. This is the first time I've seen 9 lives. I can't. I gotta mulligan this. This is exceptionally better. Fortunately, we're gonna ship the Dragon Trainer, but other than that, this hand is great. Very thespian. I'm gonna stab this now. 1, so they don't get the surveil trigger again. But 2, so I'm hoping I can do this. Attack with the vampire. beast skin is interesting. Yep, I'm actually okay with this. They don't? Yes, perfect. This is so good right here. That is so good. That's gross how good that is. They don't have removal spell for this. Attack, please. Yes. Oh, and we have 9 lives. How cute. Oh, man. Well, now we can play 9 lives and attack with Vampire. And have it. This is gross. This is so gross. We'll take some damage, fine. That's good. 6 damage. That's not nothing. Dude, that is so gross. That's absolutely silly. Colony, sure. Sure. I mean, do I even care? Yeah, we absolutely do block here. Just not take the damage. I'm so happy I get to live this dream. They took it. Interesting. I think they're gonna hope that they draw something here. Pump spell or something. We are at 7, so this feels like a desperation attack. So hold on. If they have a giant growth, stops the same amount of damage, right? So if I block here, I'm still taking 4. If I block here and block here, I'm taking 5. Right, does that make sense? I could stop 5 total points of this 7 damage. I still take 4. So if I block here, no, I can't. I have to block something like this. If they ripped a giant growth, it is what it is. Like, GG's. Okay. We survive. Skinny skin of our chin. Good game. Woo! That was closer than it should have been, but you know what? I'm just really happy I got to live the dream with 9 lives and Vampire. That's pretty cool. Being able to get the damage in obviously was the right play. We also had the amulet, which we could drop in and have done the same thing to get some value here. But it felt like that setup with, especially with our perforating artist here, was really, really strong. And that just forced the extra damage or the discards or the creatures to get off the battlefield. I'm pretty surprised, although I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that they took the damage there, hoping that they drew a pump spell or something else that could have, you know, jumped up. Maybe another creature. Actually, I don't think so. Another Prideful Parent actually would have gotten it done, because that would have given their Beastskin Ranger +2/+0, and that might have made it big enough. No, we were at 3, so I think we still blocked down enough damage. They essentially needed a giant growth or some other kind of pump spell to be able to do that, or a removal spell. Removal spell obviously would have worked, a bite down or something. So probably got a little lucky there. The funny part here is even if we didn't kill him, we would have had a hard time taking another attack actually, but we would have been able to play Jack Youssef. We had the mana situation secured here with our treasure token from our Fake Our Own Death. So that was nice. Good game. All right, we're on the play here with Double Pilfer, Waltz, Gourmand, and 9 lives. So we can try to live the dream here if we can find another land. I'm going to try this. It will need to be a swamp. I have a couple of draws at it. Hoping we can do it. Uh-oh. Not quite the land we were looking for. Come on, swamp. Please. Give me that swamp. Ooh, do we thrill a pilfer? I think we do. As crazy as this sounds. Oh, this is devastating. Okay, we still got plays here. Oh my god. I gotta take that, right? And then I think I have to kill this. I can deal with the rest of it. Yes. This is a pretty hard creature to remove. He ends up being a pretty good blocker, also a pretty good sacrifice target. Well, that's pretty good. Oh my gosh. How much did I just get saved here? I think I just Seeker's Folly too. Bye-bye, Hawk. This is the biggest turn I have ever seen. I don't mind blocking here. Like, these things don't bother me. Like, do I just jam the Dracuseth here? Or do I Burglar Rat again? And get more value? Probably just do this. Day of Judgment. Wow. Oh, good game, sir. Yes. What a turn of events. Not really. Not really. That was just looking very, very rough at the start. We missed, but a very, very timely pilfer to secure and get rid of this exemplar. And then obviously timely enough and good removal double spell there to take care of these two tough creatures, right? And then we just get the draw advantage from High Society Hunter with the blocks. That attack into this block with 9 Lives Familiar was very, very good for us. That gave us some of the card advantage that we needed, and then we just out-tempoed with card advantage, right? Being able to then kill all of the 1/1s and just kind of clear the battlefield a little bit. Certainly with 2 Dauntless Veterans out also would have been really tough. I'm kind of surprised I'm honestly a little surprised why they didn't play this. However, if they would have, we just Macrobay Waltz back. 9 lives returns, which is pretty tough, but we would have just Macrobay Waltzed back the vampire and probably, I guess, Gourmand, or maybe even a Burglar Rat at that point, just to get some of the additional value, and that would have been pretty good. We also would have drawn some cards here, which would have helped us, and then that gets really tough for them because at that point we just Dracuseth, and that was also a really timely Pilfer to take that out of their hand, because what would have been really punishing is to Dracuseth and then get have them attack and then get Day of Judgment right after that. I'd have been a sad little boy. Again, we would have had the opportunity to refill, and that's probably just way too much for them to overcome, but still a nice sequence here. The beautiful part about this is it means that literally our first Foundations draft, we trophy, which is super, super cool. I am super stoked. I'm going to be honest with you. When I put the deck together, it felt okay. It had some cool synergies. From playing the qualifier play-ins, I recognized how strong Tinybones was. So seeing this and trying to build a little bit around it makes a lot of sense. Black has a lot of really good synergies, especially with being able to bring creatures back. So faking your own death into things that can then sacrifice for those things with ETB triggers is pretty strong. Perforating Artist, this card, absolutely amazing if you can find a way to build around it. This with the Vampire Gourmand, who can, just essentially become unblockable by sacrificing creatures. Super, super good. And then us to have 9 Lives Familiar, I'm just so ecstatic that we got to live the dream here a couple of times. Use this as a consistent sacrifice outlet, as well as a blocker. I think that's the crazy thing. You got to remove this thing a whole lot of times before it goes to the graveyard for good. And that part I've really enjoyed. That was a lot of fun. We didn't really get to make use of the amulet, but I will take the credit for just a little bit of poor positioning. We won that game, but I really do think this, in combination with High Society Hunter, is really gross for the ability to be drawing multiple cards. And again, I think even in that last game, had an opportunity. I didn't need the extra advantage at that point, but I could have been doing that with the 9 lives. Not necessarily to gain. Obviously, we miss out on the 1/1 counter, but we gain 2 cards from this draw, and then we have an opportunity to essentially just, soul siphon our opponent as well. So I cannot be too disappointed with this. I think if I had to adjust this a little bit at all, and it's tough saying that because obviously we trophied, but we did lose a few games. I think I would look for maybe a better... I don't know. Seeker's Folly played really good. It just... This felt pretty well tuned. Painful Quandary was more... probably not as impactful as I would have hoped. I think maybe taking this and getting another Abrade or the 3-mana spell that deals the 5 damage and removes the counter would have been pretty good. Maybe also for Vampire Soulcaller. I think we have such a good top end here that this isn't maybe not necessary. However, some recursion here in the deck with the Waltz and with Soulcaller was pretty good. So maybe just Painful Quandary out for a different removal spell would have been good. Although this did essentially win me a game. So, there's something to be said about that. We had some pretty good quality rares here and just some good synergies. So I really enjoyed that. So thank you again for checking this one out. I'm going to flash some socials. I hope you enjoyed both these 2 videos. We'll definitely be jumping into more Magic the Gathering Foundations. I'm going to try to work back up towards Diamond again. We hit it last season, so we're going to see if we can do it again here this season and just have some fun. We'll be jumping into some Sealed as well. And I might have mentioned this, but we did do some qualifier play-ins. Didn't quite get there this go around, but it had some pretty good runs. If you want to go check those videos out, we have 2 playlists, one for all of our MTG Arena content. That's where you'll find those. In addition, we also do pack openings every Wednesday, and randomly throughout the week sometimes we have a whole bunch of stuff queued up. We'll be in Foundations. Probably by the time this goes up, you'll be seeing a Foundations play booster, and then we'll be jumping into some collector boosters. And then as we get into probably December, we'll be doing some Foundations box battles, so I'm super excited for that. So thank you so very much again for checking this out. Like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube thing for me. It really helps us out. Trying to get to 1,000 subs. That's our first big goal here, first big milestone. Hoping to hit it by the end of the year, and we're closing things out. So just appreciate all the support. And again, we'll be sure to catch you here in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.